Hi guys, I'm Luke Rambold. We're going to be working today with Haley's horse, Coco here, who is, why don't you tell us a little bit about Coco, how long you've had him, things like that.
Coco's 8 years old. I've had him for about 4 years.
Okay.
And I bought him Greenbrook.
Okay.
So he's a little timid with stuff and
Okay. So he's timid, and you typically trail ride. What do you do with Coco?
we do a little bit of everything. We do ranch riding, dressage, some jumping, trail riding.
Okay. So you brought him here today, and trailer loading is an issue sometimes?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. Well, you brought him here to really work on some of our trail obstacles and to get that better, right? Okay. Now, when he encounters something he doesn't typically isn't fond of, what's the reaction that you get?
He doesn't like to be the first through something, so he runs away.
Not much
turns
confidence?
around, yeah.
Okay. Now, when you ask him to go forward, what does he typically do?
Backs up.
Backs up, okay. So what I want to do in a situation like this, instead of just jumping right into the obstacles, I want to see where he's at. I've not ridden Coco before, so I want to see where he's at as far as, do we have a handle on him? Do we have some control, so that when he sees the situations that he's not fond of, I can give him some confidence to really move forward in what we're doing. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do here in the next couple minutes to really gain his focus and body control at the same time. Okay, so stay tuned. We'll get back at it. All right guys, so I'm on Coco now. As you can see, we're ready to move forward with what I do to prepare that horse for what we're going to ask him for, which is simply to be calm, confident, and moving forward. I think this is the biggest thing where people get messed up a little bit with their horses, is they don't have a plan, and that encompasses everything they're doing, from the troubles loading a horse on a trailer to anything out on the trail. They just react to what the horse is doing. So what I'm going to ask this horse to do, by asking him to move his body around, I'm going to show him that I'm going to be the leader, and he can gain confidence from that. Remember, horses are inherently horrible leaders. It's just not in their nature. It's not what they're good at. So they're usually looking for leadership. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to ask this horse to flex and bend. Okay, that's good. We don't have to really go through all those steps because he is given to that rein. The next thing, come to the right. Not quite as soft on this right side. I'm going to come back left. Okay, that one was better. All right, so I know I have some flex and bend here. If that horse was to keep his nose locked out straight and wouldn't laterally give to me, we would have to really get that softening before I proceed. The next thing I'm going to ask this horse to do, I'm going to bend his head in a little, and I'm going to reach back with this leg, and I'm asking him to push that hip over. Okay, now that was good. It wasn't great, but I'm not sure where he's at, so we're checking all these things. I want to see where he is. Going the other way. Moving that hip over. Okay, good. I asked him to do a little bit more than on the other side. Now I'm going to come back here. Move that hip there. I'm asking him for a little bit more there. A lot of times, again, this comes back to the plan. If we don't ask anything from our horse, we're not going to get anything from our horse. So my plan is I'm going to have that body control to where I can disengage that hip, which is going to help us if that horse starts being naughty and being difficult. If he's actively stepping across like that, that horse cannot buck, he cannot bolt, right, or take off, and he cannot rear. So by moving his body parts around, we're establishing leadership to that horse. Now, once I have that, and that's not bad, once he's understanding that I expect him to move, he's doing decent with that. Okay, the other thing I'm going to do, since I've already got that flex and bend to the left, now I'm going to ask him to walk around. Now I actually have my left leg on that horse, and I'll give him a little leg pressure there, asking him to bend. Think of it, leg is moving around, that spine is bending around my leg. This can come in really handy if that horse gets totally unfocused out on the trail through something we might ask him to cross, etc. Okay, I want to know where he's at. He's doing pretty good with that, so we won't have to spend all day doing that. Now I'm going to ask him to do this at a trot. This is exponentially more difficult for that horse. There, that's pretty good. Let's see that. There's a little resistance right there. He kind of pushed his nose out. So he's just telling us he might need to do a little bit more. Now this is, like I was saying, much harder for a horse to do at a trot than it is at a walk. We're going to put that in our memory bank. That might become a very valuable tool. Ooh. Ask him to stop. Now I see he's written his nose out a little bit. I'm going to hold that until I feel a little bit of softness there. There, I'd want to work on that a little. What we tend to create with horses a lot of times, by anybody find themselves doing this, if we hang on our horse all the time, thinking that we have more control by always keeping tension on those reins, you'll actually lose it because you're micromanaging that horse. If you always micromanage your horse, you'll always have to. They'll never learn to stand on their own as it is, okay? Mentally is where it's at. If I have this horse's brain, I'll have his feet under control, but at the same time I'm going to use those feet and move those feet to get control of his brain. Okay, at this point when I know that they're really responding to this, that's when I'm going to move forward and work on some different things, water crossings, some bridges. We have all of that we're going to ask him to work through. He's not seen any of the stuff that he's about to see. Let's see how he handles it and how we work through it. Okay, stay tuned. All right, we're back with Coco on our first our water crossing, and I don't know what his reaction is going to be to this, but I'm going to remember and model to Coco. He wants to go. Careful what you wish for, buddy. You might get it. I'm going to work forward with this very confidently and knowing that the end result is this horse is going in this water. If I was to be wishy-washy with this and didn't have my plan, this would take, if we could even get him into it, it would take exponentially longer, okay? So remember, we're going to keep him facing whatever it is that they're nervous or scared about, okay? Now, when he looks away, that's our cue for asking for more. He's thinking about trying to go around. He's trying everything under the sun to get around this, backing up. So I'm not going to make a big issue with this. I'm going to let him keep there. I'm going to let him keep backing up, and I'll keep asking for the forward until he actually walks forward, and then I release that cue. There we go. Now he's looking for ways out. Notice this, he wants to go left. He's thinking about the backup again. We'll just let him go. Let him try that. Remember, the more we try to confine a horse or force him into these, whatever it is we're asking, the more we confine him, the bigger the wreck becomes. There. Notice he's tried the other options. Didn't work. So now he's thinking about it. He's engaged to this. He's working through it. We'll loosen up my Makati tail. If he wants to put his head down, we're going to let him. It's good. Good. Let him sniff it. Let him smell it. I want him to really walk around in here and have some fun in the water here for a bit. He's thinking about jumping out the other side there. Get this Makati tail back on. There. Just let him enjoy this for a bit. I'm going to give him something to do here. Let's say let's walk around. Walk around. Now everything with my reins is still going to apply. He kind of pulled against my hand, so I bumped that left rein. We'll come around the rock here. I'll let him do anything but stop and lay down, which he doesn't feel to me like he's going to do that, but there we go. Now nothing changes that we're in the water. I still might ask this horse to work on his backup with softness. I may ask him for a left turn or right turn. Nothing changes just because we're in the water. We still are going to be that leader to that horse. Good. He feels really good to me. He's not shaking. He's not quivering. If he was, we would keep even more having to be the leader to this horse. Showing him it's okay. I've got you. Just rely on me a little bit. Whoa. Ask for a backup again. Hold against my hands. Keep asking until he's soft. That was pretty good. It was a good water crossing. We're going to move on to our bridges here next. Ask him to trot over. Now he's looking at it. He's thinking about left again. I'm going to keep his nose pointed where I want him to go, working through this. Reminding him, hey, forward cue. He's thinking about everything else, going to that backup. I'm just going to keep bumping with my. I'm not going to kick him forward, we're just going to bump. When it moves forward, we release it. Now he's just got a lot of nervous energy right here. I'm not going to make this a big deal. This is where I've got to be that leader to that horse. I'm not going to start shaking and getting all nervous and questioning my plan either, because that's where a lot of people get messed up and get off into jingweeds. He's really got his feet kind of crossed up there. That's his problem. He put himself there. He's going to have to fix it. Keep asking. He still really wants to go to the left, and he keeps thinking about that going left. So we bump him back up. Bump, 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 bump. Ask him to come up. Come on now. Now he's pulling against that hand really quite a little. So I'm going to use this as a time to, just like what we did in the arena, I'm going to ask him to bend, move up my leg and my hand. Don't pull against that. Come on. Move up again. He still wants to go to the left. He's looking left, but he's moving his feet to the right. Now he's really, what's going on here is he's hoping I'm just going to quit. There. Notice he just started focusing on that just for a second. He gave it a little bit of attention. Let's keep our eye on that and watch that unfold. But he's really hoping that I'll just quit and I'll start to question my plan and what I'm going to do. And maybe that's happened to him a few times before. I don't really know, but I'm guessing it has. So once he understands there, let him put his head down, let him check this out. But once he understands that this plan is going to be what's going to happen, and I'm going to be that competent leader to him, you'll see that he'll not pull all the shenanigans of trying to go every other way, and he'll start actually mentally engaging to this concept a little bit more. Come on. I'm going to push that hip over. Worked on that in the arena. There. Let him be when he faces it. Now he's licking and chewing. He's telling us he's thinking. Now we didn't have that attention really long because he told us that because he went looking away to the left again. We'll move that hip around, come back to it. If he faces it and relaxes right here, I'll let him be for a minute. If he really wants to start hopping up, move that hip. Remember, actively moving that hip around. They can't buck, they can't bolt, and they can't rear. So I want him to know if he tries that, I'm really going to make your hip move, which is why we start in the arena. If I didn't have that hindquarter control in the arena, I probably wouldn't ask my horse to do things like this. All right, now he's got a little bit more focus on what we're doing. We're not there yet, but we're gaining. Okay, ask for more when the horse looks away. There it is. Ask for that forward. There. He went to put his nose down. That's a forward motion to him. His feet didn't move forward, but he's thinking about it more. There. I can feel him getting closer to this, working on this. Notice his feet, they'll still maybe move around a little bit. He's still going to maybe try latch ditch effort. He might jump up a little bit. There we go. Okay, now he touched it with that right front. We're not there yet, but he's mentally gaining. He keeps wanting to go left. We'll just keep asking. Leave him alone here. But again, he wants to go to the left. Let's push this hip over. Get him lined back up here. If you don't have body control with your horse, really so many of the things we want to do with them is going to be so much more difficult. Now, this is the first time he's gone to go to the right. So he's tried left many times, that didn't work. Now he's starting to try to the right. That's a very common reaction from a horse. So let's move that hip around, ask for a back up here. It doesn't necessarily matter what you're asking your horse to do as far as the direction, they just need direction. They need us to be leaders. He's thinking about that a little bit more. But it's straight yet. There, he's focused on it. And our forward, he's still thinking to the left. I'm going to bring him back to the right, showing him where I want him to go. I don't want to chase the negative with my horse, meaning I don't want to tell him, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that. I want to keep showing him what I'm asking. I want to give him that plan. There, first time he touched it with his left front leg. So we are gaining. So many times, like I keep saying, people question their plan, so they think it's not working, so they keep changing the plan, and the horse can never ultimately figure out what the plan is. So the horses have to confused, because they get confused and don't see us as a leader. They don't want to follow the direction we're giving them. We're multitasking here. We're going to work on our soft backup. Come on. Notice he's trying to go to the right there, and that didn't work, so we said, I just let him go and make that mistake. He's putting himself in that jam. He's going to have to fix it. I'm big on accountability. Those horses have to take accountability for their feet. If you micromanage your horse, you'll always have to micromanage them. Same thing, he's doing it again. So we'll work on some other things. Make it easier for that horse to cross that bridge. There we go, come on. That forward cue. And this will take as long as it takes. If you're going to be late for your wedding, I probably wouldn't start this today. It'll take as long as it takes. Use your time accordingly. And with that, I often get the question, well, people will say, well, if I start this today, do I have to finish it? And really, my answer to that is definitely no. Ideally, I do want to finish it, and we'll get this horse to go across today. But I'm not going to go and push him to the point where that absolutely has to happen or else. But I do want to go into it with that idea of, hey, we're going at it, keep moving, work for me. And if you get to that point, it's dark or whatever, you're physically just can't do it anymore, as long as your horse is quieter when you stop or when you go to stop than when you started, you've made progress. And to me, that's any time you can stop if that's happened. Okay? This, by all means, it would be fine to stop here if we were going to. But I'm a lot more stubborn than that. So we'll just keep working, asking him to move forward. And that forward cue. Now notice this. Tried multiple things to this point. He's really tried left, kind of his go-to. He's tried a little bit of a hop up in the front end. He's tried, that's his new one, right? He really wants to move that hip around. To me, that's opportunity. Opportunity to get that hip to move. Get better body control. If every time he pushes his hip over there, he starts to figure out that we're going to work on moving his hip, he'll stop doing it. Eventually, conscious thought starting to happen. He had been really pushing that hip down. Let him think here for a minute. He's faced with some choices. He's thinking about going back to the left there. Come on now. We're gonna come back, push that hip down, ask for better body control. If he's not moving off my foot with a soft touch, then he gets spanked, saying, move that hip. It's multitasking. There we go. Now notice, he's getting a little bit closer. He's working into this a little bit more. Now typically, people will ask me, well, at this point, should I get off that horse and lead him across in hand? My answer to that is, if you think that horse is dangerous enough and you don't have the body control to do it while you're riding them, then yes. Walk them across in hand. However, my idea is that that horse is going to cross anything I'm asking, even if they've never seen it, while riding, if we've shown them that we can be a competent leader to them. And eventually, the horse will cross there, anything we're asking them to do. Okay? He's working through a whole lot of stuff here. Okay, so our forward cue. The most important part with this is it's a 3-step sequence. First step, it's going to be a little bump. I don't kick my horses across things. I just want to tell them, I want you to go across it. So the first step is a bump. Second step is another bump. So it'll be like bump, bump. If they haven't listened to that point and they're not making forward progress, then the spank occurs. Whether you use a dressage whip in your hand to do that, whether in this case I have my Makati tail, whether you use a split rein, that's totally up to you. But if my horse doesn't respect my forward cue, that bump, bump, we're going to have problems with obstacles. So we have to come back sometimes 2 steps forward, 1 step back, if you will, to get that forward cue established, and then come back at our bridge crossing, our water crossing, whatever the case may be. Okay, he touched it with that foot. He is kind of stalling out here. So we may need to come back with that forward. Come on. There. Focus here. We'll let him break here.
Tie that in to the difference between back and
What? Tie that in with a constant spanking.
tie that into how that's different than standing in an obstacle and just spanking.
Okay.
Like you don't want
Are we back rolling, or would you never stop?
Because you don't want to, because a lot of people want to stand at it and just to tie in why that forward cue is important. Not necessarily, you're not standing and spanking across.
Okay. I thought I did that, but maybe not.
Well, it's in the best of people that want to stand at an obstacle and just we can address that.
Okay. So what I'm asking this horse to do again is just bumping with my legs and move forward. I don't want to spank this horse and spank this horse to go over. I want him, again, the accountability factor. There. I want this horse to move forward with the lightest touch. This is opportunity. Anytime we find things out on the trail or anywhere, it's opportunity to get this better. So I want to use this bump and then the spank versus just spanking the horse all the time, which I see sometimes people are asking that horse to do. Again, it's like micromanaging. If you micromanage them that way, spank, spank, spank for everything, you'll always have to. I want them to know if they respond off my leg, the spank never even occurs. Okay, so we'll ask them. He's starting to think about this a little more. He's flirting with his toes on that bridge. Come on now. Didn't respond to my legs there. There. Now he's moving forward. So the spank did happen. There. Leave him alone here. I want him to know, and this works with horses because all horses are inherently lazy. They don't want to work harder than they have to. So if he realizes that all of this shenanigans over here, if that means work, eventually he'll figure out, hey, if I stay here, I don't have to work. He'll start making this good choice. There. Forward. Notice he's thinking. He's kind of relapsed here a little bit. We'll bring him back, show him what we want again. This is what we expect. There. He's flirting with success a little bit more here. He's going to check that out. And if he wants to put his nose down and smell this, or paw it, lick it, smell it, any of that, we're going to let him do that. That helps really get their confidence up. There, you forgot here for a minute, and again, he's hoping that the plan's going to change, because that probably has happened before. Stalled out. I'm starting to ask a little bit more from him. Nope, that's not going to work anymore, right, buddy? Come on, Coco. Keep asking. Keep there. In his mind, we could really easily go around this. It's really not that important that we cross it. And he's not wrong, we could go around it. But the point is, cross what I'm asking you to do and we'll be better. This is a great way to build trust with your horse. Okay, but there's basically a 3-rule checklist whenever I'm working any kind of thing out on the trail, whether it be a wooden bridge, a water crossing, or anything. And 3-rule checklist that I'm going to run all things by to see if it's a good idea or not. Okay, rule number 1, I can't get hurt. Horses are inherently dangerous, we know that. But if I'm putting undue risk on myself, it's a bad idea. Let's not do that. Okay, number 2. The horse can't get hurt. If you want that horse to trust you, don't get him hurt. Come on now. And number 3, if the horse is calmer when we're done than when we started, we're doing all right. We're doing well. We'll keep at that. Okay? And he clearly, he just kind of stalled out. I gave him a bump. He didn't listen. Move forward. Come on. Now it's time for Coco to start growing up. I can tell he's understands what I'm asking him to do now. Now it's where the stubbornness comes in. All those ultimately our horses will at some point run into something that they just don't want to cross. Whether it's an Appaloosa, quarter horse, Arabian, doesn't matter. Okay, keep asking him. Keep asking. Come on. Time to be a big boy here, Coco. Up there. He didn't listen, so he got that spank. Come on. There, now. Again, he tried all those other, he's really trying to stick to that idea, thinking that moving the hip over is going to work. And if we release the pressure there, we would reinforce that will get him out of it. But if we release the pressure when he's lined up with it, that's what he's going to keep. He'll eventually go back to that. So not responding with that forward. Again, the forward cue. If we don't have that firmly established to our horse, then to move forward when we ask, obstacles can get much more difficult. Come on. Come on. Come on, Coco. There we go. And ask for forward again. I'm going to come back and really push this hip over. Just kind of not really committing to be soft. And he's really not committing to be naughty, just kind of right in between the two. So we're going to ask him for a little bit more. If he stalls out here again, come on. Forward. When he looks away, we ask more. Bump, 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 bump. Okay. I'm going to ask him. We're going to get these feet moving a little bit. Because he needs to make a commitment here. He needs either to commit to really doing this right and working at this, or he's going to work back here. Make the right thing easy. In this case, crossing this bridge. Make that easy. Come on. And being lazy there. Like I said, horses are inherently lazy. Now, this is not about trying to fool him and making those circles and go back and get him to cross it. Now that work. Probably some of you have tried that. Come on now. I'm going to ask him to back up, and we're going to make it a little bit more difficult. Away. We're really going to reinforce here now this idea of moving up. I'm going to push that hip. This is the sticky side anyway. Come on. Make those feet hustle. Let him walk across that bridge. He certainly can be a stubborn one, and this is something that can typically happen with horses. The more that they pull their little stunts or shenanigans and the pressure gets released, the more deeply ingrained that's in that horse's brain. So the longer this will take. It actually, in a lot of cases, is easier to bring a colt back here that's never had a refusal. It's easier to get them to do it than a horse that has been kind of pushy and belligerent stuff. But no matter where a horse is at, we can always get them better. That's what I love about horses. They're always learning. But there's two sides to that coin. They're learning to get better, or they're learning to get worse. So as long as we have a plan, asking that horse to do, we can be confident that they are always, always going to get better. We just can't question that plan. Hopefully we can give you that good solid base and plan here. There we go. He's probably one of those horses that is the kind that they want to just kind of really test the waters, if you will, no pun intended here, and then all of a sudden once they realize that they're not getting out of it, then they just go. Some things gradually, some takes a little bit more work. Let's see what Coco's going to be with this bridge here. Come on. In this case, he keeps really wanting to go to the left here. I'm going to tell him, careful what you wish for. You wanted to go left. In this case, we'll go left. Come on, step it up a little. Let's come back. Here, smell it. Forward, forward. Well, ask, all right, you want to go left? You can go to the left. I mean, he's did come to this right side, but we're going left now. We'll bring him over here. We'll come left again. There, against my hand a little bit, so I bumped on that rein. So don't pull on my hand. I make a treaty with my horse. Every horse I ride on, I want him to know in that treaty, I won't pull on your face if you don't pull against my hands. Come on. No, no, come on. Move that hip. Move that. Got really stiff there. Pull against my hand. He's not moving off that leg. There. When he moves better, we'll let him go. Come on. Keep trying for me here. He's really not trying all that hard right now. He's kind of going through the, there, through the motions as it is. Just being a little bit stubborn. He looks away, we'll ask for more. There. That was good. He made a good step up forward. He's looking away. There. He's starting now. He's still hoping that we're going to quit. Speaking of Appaloosa jokes, I bet my mom thinks I was in Appaloosa growing up, because I can be pretty stubborn. He's like that car that's out of alignment. It's really, it pulls to the left. We'll just keep working on this right side. Nope, see, he wants to go to the left. It's like, no. We got to soften this right side. 80% of horses at least, maybe 90% of them, are much softer to the left. And if given the choice, we'll go left versus right. There's, his feet are going to the right, but he's still thinking about left, because that's where his head is, that's where his thoughts are. There. Let him relax. Forward. Come on, he didn't listen to legs, so he got the spank. I released because he did move forward. Again. Ask again. Come on. Nope. Notice he's trying to do that 180. Say, nah, we could go the other way. You're right, we could, Coco, but that's going to mean work. Come on. Come on. He wants to leave us. Say, careful what you wish for. Really being lazy here and stalling out on me. Keep moving around and follow that nose. Let's come the other way. Pulled against my hand, so I bumped on that face. Remember that treaty. Don't pull on my hands, and I won't pull on your face. Accountability. I want this horse to understand that if you just work for me a little bit, and I'm going to make your life really pretty easy, pretty comfortable. You know, and at this point, there's people, this horse is starting to get a little bit of sweat to him. It's about 70 degrees or so right now. Starting to work here a little bit. Some people get really, they almost start to feel bad about that for their horse. But truth be told, if we ride this horse 5 days a week, which most people can't even do that, and if most rides last an hour, hour and a half, that's at most 5 to 7.5 hours a week, right? It's not much work. How many of us only work 5 to 7.5 hours per week? Most of us are hit that point by lunchtime on Monday. However, this horse has provided full-time benefits. He has a health plan, no deductible, no copays. He has a dental plan, no deductible, no copays. He has full room and board. He doesn't have to pay any of that. He has a retirement plan, sick days, vacation days. Pretty good benefits. All we're asking that horse to do is just work a little bit for us. And truth be told, horses are not different than people. We're designed to work, and our brains and our bodies need to work. And that's what will actually make a horse better off. Most horses in the Northeast are overfed and are underworked, and they don't have much focus. This is just something we can do to get more focus. All right, he's still being stubborn here. This is a great example of how we don't question our plan. This will work. Take as long as it takes, though. Keep working. Come on. Come on. Stalling out, not listening to this. Now, he's really just kind of being stubborn there, so bring him back around. They're engaged mentally to that, to that, to that. Right there. We're kind of kittywampus here. I'm not going to pick on this. This isn't perfect as far as our setup and exactly in the center and all of that. We'll work on that. And we'll get our setup and our entrance, departures and everything so much better. But for right now, just asking this horse to work for me. Step up. There. A little bit. A little bit. A little bit. There. That's a forward motion to that horse. When they put their nose down, believe it or not, that is forward in their brain. He's looking away, so we're going to ask more. Come on now. Come on now. Make good choices. It's like we're dropping our kids off at college, telling them, make good choices. I haven't done that yet, but I can imagine that's what it'd be like. There. Much better. Now he has all, there's still left. He's still thinking about it. He decides he's going to go over there. Get these feet moving. Say, hey, you wanted to go left. You wanted to go. Careful what you wish for. You might get it. Come on, step up. You're just kind of being lazy, stalling out here again. Come on now. Come on now. Come on now. Forward. He kept getting spanked there because he wouldn't move forward off of my leg. When he did finally move forward, we released all those cues. Come on. Up here. He's not moving off that leg. Bump, 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 bump. Come on. There. When he thinks about it again, we'll ask us again. Bump, 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 bump. No? All right. Muscle these feet some more. At this point, he's starting to put some real sweat equity into this. Back to the right. This is his stiff side anyway, so we got to work on this at some point. Might as well do it at the same time. Come on now. There. That's one of his better tries, but notice we don't have that focus forever still. He'll make his try and then he'll think about leaving. There's a big sigh. Okay, there's 3 rules. I can't get hurt. The horse can't get hurt. The horse has to be better or calmer when we're done than when we started. We're just gonna, there. It's getting serious now. So serious we're working out a poop. Poops. Come on, don't pull on my hand. No, stay here. Don't leave. Stay here. Don't leave. So you're still thinking about that left. Or now he's thinking about left. I'm going to back him up, just change it up a little bit for him. We're going to ask him, come on, you're being lazy here. Horses are inherently lazy. They don't want to work harder than they have to. There. Loosen that Makati up a little bit. So when he puts his head down, this horse has a long neck. It can reach a long ways. It's a good thing. He's got long feet too, long legs. He's thinking, all right, here we go again. Don't pull on my hand. I won't pull on your face. Take him back up. We're gonna ask him, come on, you gotta try a little harder here, bud. No, he keeps wanting to pull against that hand, so I'm gonna bump here a little. I'm gonna remind him, no, don't pull on my hand. Come on, yeah, it's yours. Right here. Be soft. Come on. It's really here. That's very common in horses. When I get lazy, come on, you gotta work a little harder here. There, release that. First time he's kept the foot for a second. He's touched it with his toes, but now it's on. We're gonna come back to this again. It's all downhill from here. He's almost there. Again, if we kept changing the plan, this would be something that would be practically impossible. Okay, now he's gaining, right? Now you can feel it. Remember what I was saying, more than likely, this would be that horse that wants to be stubborn forever and stubborn and stubborn. And then he'll just decide, maybe somebody's more stubborn than me. And we'll gain that way. Okay, if he goes to leave, he's filled with choices here, right? He can make lots of them. Yeah, we'll come back. We're going for this. Flex and bend, we're going to come back to the right. Don't pull on me. He consistently wants to pull on this right side. Come on. You got to try a little harder here. Try a little harder. Try a little harder. Try a little harder. There, I'll let that. I'll take that. Remember, horses have horrible depth perception with their eyesight. They need to activate some of their other senses. In this case, touch, paw, his smell, touching with his lip. Come on now. Back. Consistency, that's it. Come on. That's with horses. If we're not consistent with what we ask, and we're always changing the rules of the game, our horse has to figure out, stalling out. There. You notice he was really trying to leave. He came back to that spanking. Oh yeah, I remember. I need to face it. Right answer. We'll let that go. Let him think about this again. He's thinking lots of choices. Wrong one, buddy. Get those feet hustling. He kind of bump that belly a little. We all have to work for a living, buddy. The thing is, you're working harder at your job than you need to. There. He's thinking about it. He knows at this point, he knows what he's supposed to do. He knows what he needs to do. But he's just being stubborn. How many of us are like that in life? We know what we should do. We just don't want to. Okay, are gaining. Come on. Notice, oh, he's dwelling there longer, but still not quite there. So, his feet are going to hustle. Again, takes as long as it takes. Really trying to show leadership to that horse. Come on now. There. Just letting him think through. He's a little bit nervous right now. We'll even pet him. You're all right, buddy. You're all right. I'm going to keep him facing it though. He's thinking about every other way to get out of this. I'll let him back off to this point. Remember, we don't want to confine a horse on here. But you notice mentally he stayed with it. He thought about, he was really checking to see if he could go backwards and have that escape. We'll let him have all the head in the world here. There. Just put that head down. Nice job. Nice job. I'll flex him here. We're going to ask him really into this. We're going to go right back across. We might start from scratch on this end. That'll happen sometimes. There we go. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, those 3 rules. I can't get hurt. That rule wasn't violated. The horse isn't hurt, so number 2 is not violated. And definitely number 3 has happened. He's better now than when we started. Okay, we're going to come over. We've got one more bridge. Built the same, looks the same, but it's slightly different. We're going to come on over to this one. Okay, we're right back to our next bridge. It really looks almost identical to the other one, but it is in a different spot. And sometimes that's all it takes for a horse. It just looks different to them because it's in a different spot. So we just finished that other bridge just moments ago. We repositioned the camera right back at it. Let's see what he retained from that other lesson. Ask for that forward. Looks away, so we ask for more. He still wants to go to the right here. He thought about it and then looking left, bring his head back. We want to reinforce, really what this is just doing is reinforcing all that work we did at the other one. There we go. Now it's not, he's right on the edge, it's not perfect, that's okay. When we're riding and training our horse, it's not always perfect. That's kind of the way it is in life. There we go, working back through this. Okay, so again, it's not about exposing that horse to everything that they might encounter in life. That's impractical, that'll never work. Instead, let's just ask that horse to cross and work through, and we're using these things as opportunity to do that and moving forward. We'll bring it across one more time, and then we'll go into the high elevated bridge and ask him to work through that. Okay, we'll move on to the high bridge. Okay, we're back here with Coco. We've got him to our elevated bridge. He's not been across this, but because we've done these low bridges and that, I'm confident that he'll work through it. In fact, he wants to go, so we'll just ask him to work through. Now, he looked left, he's looking right, and this is a little bit different feel for some horses. He wants to go left, and it'll take as long as it takes here. I'm gonna have him come back. This bridge is about 12 feet off the ground. Well, if there wasn't water, it'd be 12 feet. There we go, and work through. Now, main thing is just calm, stay calm, and I don't want to feed anxiety to this horse. My body being tight, squeezing with my legs. We're just going to relax and ask him to work through this. Okay, so again, all that work we did on those low bridges is what's making this high bridge work well. Well, there you go, guys. Thanks for watching. And just remember, this all worked with Coco here because we had a plan and we didn't deviate from that plan. Hope this helps.